Or not. There we go. Great. Okay.
Radiant team
Take
banned.
2. Jesus Christ. Alright, so first up, some housekeeping. I know you guys have all tuned in. Looking forward to DK versus Newbie. Don't worry, that game is still happening. It's just going to be after this best of 2 with LGD-Gaming against Hyper Glory Team, previously known as Hearts Get Together. But... oh, and also, the MVP games later tonight, they have been postponed. MVP are unable to play, so obviously we don't want to run 2 games where we can't have one team in. So, with that out of the way, though, welcome to everybody. This is the start of the Chinese Synergy League. My name is Triumph Man. I'll be casting the China games tonight, as well as the Southeast Asian scene and the European games tonight as well, so I'm going to have a full day. But right now, we have a best of 2. This is game 1 in a best of 2 series between LGD Gaming and a Hyper Glory Team. And I'm probably going to accidentally at some point call them Hearts Get Together. I don't know why. I just cannot get that out of my brain. It's in there the whole time. Hopefully, these players have managed to tag up once we actually get into the match, because buggered if I know who's who at the moment. Besides ZSMJ there. We'll find out anyway. So, we have a Terrorblade ban, a Tidehunter, interesting, Tidehunter ban. Alright, so that's been first ban. Don't let me see that first ban. Often we see the Death Prophet in that slot there being first banned instead, or some of the other usual suspects. Actually, of course, last up we had Mushi first banning the freaking Space Cow. That was odd, to say the least, but Tidehunter being banned out, I think he makes more sense than a freaking Space Cow ban. But he'll be banned out there, so... Getting rid of some of that big crowd control. Normally we see something more like Faceless Void getting... like, as far as offlaners go, I find that Faceless Void right now a lot more popular in that offlane than the Tidehunter. Although Faceless Void also have been seeing a lot of safe lane farm as well these days as well. So, there is that. But Scarth Mage picked up, speaking of big AoE crowd control, there we go. Faceless Void being picked up. Gonna go with that Death Prophet. Synergizes incredibly well with her. She can just stand back and let the Ghost do all the work while they're stuck inside that Chronosphere. Now, I feel like a solid ban here for LGD that probably should come up is the Nagasaran. It would be a very solid ban because Nagasaran, as we've seen, is very effective in countering the effects of Chronosphere. Just because if you don't get those early BKBs up, it's very effective and very easy for Nagasaran just to run, especially if it's a support Naga who is going to be hanging around these fights early on. Just run up to the Chronosphere and start singing, and suddenly you can't get any DPS off, you can't get any counterattack. Obviously, if Death Prophet manages to get close, and also managed to get the Ghost off at the same before the song comes out. The Ghost will still fly around and bite stuff, but still, she can't. It's a lot harder for her to get the targeting right. And also, it's quite possible that she just doesn't get close enough before she hits the edge of the song for the Ghost to actually do any damage. So I feel like they might want to ban the Nagasaran unless they're planning on getting a pickup. Also, should mention that LGD had the option of first pick or sides. They decided to go with picking the sides. They decided to go with the Dire, leaving HDT to have the first pick instead, and they have gone with the Brewmaster and Skyrath. Interesting. Centaur being banned, and we often see the Centaur picked with the Skyrath. Interesting decision there that they've decided to ban out the Centaur. Maybe they're planning for an offlane Brewmaster, we'll see. I think it's more likely to be a mid. I don't really like the offlane Brewmaster. It can be done, but I think it's a little dodgy. Unless you're planning for something cute, like they're expecting Faceless Void offlane and they send the Brewmaster into the safe lane solo and then run an offensive try-in or something like that, but I'm not a huge fan of Brewmaster as a solo offlane. I've seen it a few times, and it tends to get crushed pretty badly. It's really hard for him to get that fast blink out, which he needs really badly to be effective. They have also banned out the Earthshaker. That's a really solid defensive early support. Really good at warding and warding off early aggression. And there we go. LGD going to go with the Mirana.
Team pick.
We'll see if they have that as a core support. And of course, she's really good with the really good with the Faceless Void. And they've also grabbed a Legion Commander. Now this is definitely this is a pretty nice pick in terms of it's good counter to Death Prop in the fact that it just provides some solid superior magic lockdown that you can go, well, you're going to BKB, don't care. I'm going to just go in there, duel you, and then beat the stuff, and then my team is just going to beat the stuffing out of you. It is a little dangerous against a Mirana and a Faceless Void because if you try and launch like a YOLO duel, and you think, yeah, this is going well, Mirana happens to be around, obviously, or Faceless Void happens to be around, it can go quite badly because you can get Chronosphered and then beaten to death, or obviously get hit by a 5-second arrow and then everything just goes pear-shaped really quickly. A Wraith King and Mirana being picked, though, by LGD. We'll see. Well, one of these is going to be a support, probably. The question is, which one?
10 seconds
it's tough.
remaining.
I mean, I'm not a huge, as a personal opinion, I'm not a huge fan of Wraith King as a core,
remaining.
like as a primary core hero. I prefer him more on that 4 role, where he sort of gradually meets a bit of farm. But as a full-on like hard carry, I feel like there are way better options, especially if your opponents are building into some mana burn as well. On the plus side right now, HDT, probably, unless they go mass Necrobooks, they're probably not, Wraith King's probably got nothing to worry, but a couple of Necrobooks can really undo Wraith King's carry power just because he doesn't get that second life effectively, because he just meets so much mana burn, it's frustrating. Or an Invoker is pretty good as well, just go in there and just slam them with a big EMP charge. It can be pretty irritating. The HTT, they'll pick up the Morphling, and I'll be interested to see if they actually, well, actually, I was going to say that, but with the Legion Commander lockdown, the fact that he can jump a duel at a specific target and then Morphling can come screaming in there and just shotgun a target down, I think would be super effective. Obviously, if obviously there is the downside. If the shotgun doesn't work, then suddenly you've got Legion Commander trying to duel an ethereal target, which can be quite upsetting. But yeah, I could see that could work. Could work indeed. And it'd be interesting to see if they go for that, because traditionally when the Chinese first started picking Morphling, they went for a full-on... The Southeast Asian scene sort of repopularized it. The Southeast Asian scene were going for the Ethereal Blade shotgun build, though, but the Chinese were going more for a right-clicking battle Morphling build. Something that we see Era build. Era tends to favor just going into Manta and just right-clicking items rather than going for the shotgun. So we'll see what HDT have up the sleeve here. Also should mention that they have banned the Rubik. Yeah, it's actually probably a good idea. Against the Faceless Void, obviously, you jump in, and then you chrono, and then he's got no spells afterwards to block the spell steal. So probably a solid pick there, as a solid ban there, as HGT are looking for a secondary support. And they could do with a support also that can help stave off early aggression. Rubik can help out early on. Not as good as, say, something like an Earthshaker, but at least he can get in there with telekinesis and just help rotate and set up fights. Or ward off fights, at the very least, and just get in the way. Whereas if you pick something that's kind of greedy and wants to farm a lot, something like a Visage, it's not super useful in protecting your lineup against that.
5 seconds
so I'm looking at this,
remaining.
I feel like we might see Morphling. Well, this is it though. Morphling could mid. Legion Commander is actually a pretty solid mid as well. I actually wonder if they might try her in that role. But no, they've got the Brewmaster. Brewmaster likely to go mid. Legion Commander, I think, will be the off lane in this scenario, and Morphling's going to take the safe lane farm. I mean, unless they've got some cute ideas with dual lanes, but we'll see. And the question is, whether or not Mirana, Wraith King, and Lich most likely going to be the support there. The question is whether Mirana or Wraith King wind up in that 4 role. Lich most likely going to shoulder that 5 burden and deal with that. I'm just looking at HGT's lineup. I feel like they could probably use... Mirana's the more aggressive of the two, and if they get in and cause some early havoc, if Legion Commander and Brewmaster struggle to find their early blinks, it really could cause some issues. Also, if they're planning to get aggressive early, I don't really think they have much chance of ganking the Morphling with just the Wraith King alone. He's obviously a melee, he's slow. Even though Mirana's damage is crap, she has the advantage of at least getting it in from a range. And also, of course, the 5-second arrow is a big deal, but I don't know if they can get the pickoffs, though, against the Morphling. We'll see in a moment, anyway. And the last pick will be a Wind Ranger. Okay, interesting. We'll see where they go with that. I have not seen much Windrunner in a long time. She's really, I think the reason she dropped off was just, she became kind of hit and miss. Is either you landed freaking awesome shackles, which are pretty difficult to get right. Either you landed these freaking awesome shackles, or she just sort of tapered off really quickly. Also, with some really aggressive support combos coming out, like the return of Mirana, especially in the support role, just these really aggressive Shadow Demon, Mirana combos, stuff like that. It just became, her Wind Run was not good enough as an escape mechanism to deal with this early aggression. that could come out of the
Prepare
supports.
for battle.
And nobody's freaking tagged up, so I don't know who the hell is who. Obviously ZMSJ there. Once they go to the lanes, we'll figure this out, I guess. And looks like it will be a support Wraith King. The Mirana has opened up with a lot of items. Wraith King, yeah, support Wraith King. Alright. And Lich pulling some tangos, as well as just nothing but tangos. Unless, wait, oh, wait a minute. No, he's got more. No, that's going to Void. So it's going to be offlane Void. Obviously, Death Prophet mid. And Mirana being supported top by the Wraith King. This is fairly dangerous. Got some pretty good setup here. Now, it looks like Windrunner is going to be mid. No, wait a minute. She's
30 seconds.
Unless those were pulled, actually. I think those wards were pulled. So, probably Windrunner. No, I actually have no idea whether it's Windrunner or Legion Commander offlane yet. We'll figure that out in a moment. So Void's going to be offlane. It looks like this is a fairly standard. They're going to have a Lich here. Now, how long he stays here is questionable, but at the very least, he's probably at least going to take the first creep here. And he might stay for a few waves, just denying the first couple of creep waves. And that'll just help Void have a good, like a decent start rather than a horrible start. But they're just gonna do a 2-1-2 for the early stage, and then they'll probably have Lich just break off, and they'll let Void get some solo levels if possible. Because getting that early Chronosphere is a big deal. It just makes diving against LGD's lineup very dangerous. If Void gets an earlier Chrono, it makes like dive, like you can't really come up here and expect to dive and try and make a kill because there's a threat of Void just TPs in, Chronos you up, and then suddenly you've got like a 5-second arrow flying at your face. It's really, really dangerous to make those early big plays.
Try harder.
And this is... Oh, okay. No, it's going to be support Windrunner, actually. I was wrong. Alright then. This is... I mean, Windrunner can play support. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's doable. It can be done in a pinch.
Not gonna happen.
Definitely a bit of a weird lineup, though.
I think not.
Meanwhile, Death Prophet's going to have a pretty easy advantage in this lane. She's going to spam down these waves without too many problems dealing with the Brewmaster. Brewmaster's going to be able to clap her a bit, clap down some of the waves, but for the most part, his Drunken Haze is going to be fairly useless, and she does a lot of her harass through Crypt Swarm as well, so the Drunken Brawler mischance as well, even though it's pretty low at low levels, isn't going to be a big deal for her in terms of just controlling and spamming out this lane and just dealing harassment damage. See Void, not too worried about getting harassed here. Actually, this could be a problem. They're not really going to be able to slide in the Void that much if Scarith Mage is frequently ducking out to pull. And I suppose he does actually have to pull, though, because if he doesn't, there's no way this Creequilibrium is going to come back to the Radiant favor. And while this clash up here, we see the arrow come through, set up by a stun there, however, it's going to be debuffed immediately. And this is the power, I guess, of Legion Commander up against this double stun combo. He can just get rid of the arrow stun there, thanks to press the attack.
One of me ain't enough.
Windrunner going to find an illusion rune there. And this is probably a slight irritation here for Death Prophet. Her bottle's not out yet, but she can't... If Windrunner gets active and starts rotating in early ganky, the chances of her snagging a good rune are going to drop a bit. If Windrunner's constantly on the job, they're just trying to make sure she gets at him. But on the plus side, for the most part, Scarith Mage here has his hands full, trying to deal with the Creequilibrium being always sucked back by that sacrifice from Lich, as well as the fact that they really just don't want Void to find the early farm. Void's doing quite well here as well. He's 6-2, and Morphling is only 6-4. And of course, it is difficult for Morphling to CS at a full rate because he's losing those creep from every wave. Meanwhile, they're just going to use these illusions to block up the camp and prevent another pull there from Wraith King. Mirana has picked up her early boots as Brewmaster getting chased back there. He actually hasn't got his bottle yet. That's actually going to be a... Unless it's sitting on the courier. Okay, it's just coming out now. So he's picked that up a little late. Death Prophet has hers, but it's being shuttled back already. Meanwhile, Wraith King just trading some hits. Going to throw out the first stun. However, press the attack. Going to come in here. And there we go. Healed up Windrun as well. Probably a little unnecessary, in fact. But she will scoot back. There's still no stun yet from Windrain. She has picked up the power shot and the Windrun at level 1. There we go, it's just some bottle ferrying being done now by Brewmaster. Void, though, starting to fall behind, though. His farm starts to fall behind a little bit every time that Skyth comes out, puts pressure on. Meanwhile, though, Windrunner in some serious trouble. That's the first blood. She roams and gets caught out. Mirana actually runs in and chases her down with the help of the Raging and just went straight after her. Fortunately, she loses that contest.
Dire's middle tower
The top rune, and Death Prophet will manage to find that and bottle it up. And has actually had a Shed Tango dumped on the ground there. But Soul Ring for Legion Commander, having that shuttled out now on the courier. ZSMJ is farming away there. This will be interesting once ZSMJ hits his items and see what he's going for, whether it's going to be just a fighting right-click morphling or a shotgun build. But for the moment, he's actually relatively underfarmed. Like for ZSMJ, 14 CS at 5 minutes is very poor. Obviously, he's losing a lot of the potential CS thanks to the Lich, but it's still very poor for his standards. Not great at all. The bottle being ferried back once again. It's Windrunner and LC just going to jack that pull. Managed to snag it up here. See a dive on the top lane. Actually, Lich getting jumped there. Launch in, however, it's going to be a return kill most likely if a bash procs here, or even if a bash doesn't proc. The auto attack damage is there. Faces forward, finds the kill. And yeah, it's not really worth it in the end there. We see Void gets a big jump out of that. They're sure they lose the Lich, but Void gets 288 gold out of that. Unfortunately, they don't find the same for Morphling there. And we see a rotation here from Skyth. Just doing a rotation to get some rewards down. He's just throwing this one up. Probably to spot the rotation from the Death Prophet if he can. They might actually go for a gank here because Windrunner is coming to the party, or not, as they might have actually, they've been spotted by the Wraith King. Brewmaster finds himself an invisibility rune, and Death Prophet will finish up her phase boots. Brewmaster still has the invisibility bottle, hasn't used it up just yet. It's Wraith King now rotating as well, along with the Lich. They could actually set up a counter kill here. They've got the stun and probably the burst. Lich has got his second level in his Frostblast. Nah, they're going to be a little bit too slow here. His Brewmaster backs up. He also has the split, and there's no silence to shut that down. So actually, he should be just fine. And I think they've just realized there's a lot of pinging going out there. I think HGD spotted LGD's ward there. Meanwhile, Duel on top lane is a little bit too slow though to get the damage. Windrunning forward, then one more auto attack. Can she find it? Power shot's on cooldown, and it won't come out there. Mirana will manage to back off. Still only level 6 though. Soul levels from Legion Commander. Every time that Windrunner has actually backed up, it's actually given her the soul levels to actually out-level the Mirana. I like this Soul Ring build actually. She's gone Soul Ring, and this is just letting her, especially with the high regen as well. She's got, with the help from Press the Attack, the fact that she can just spam out overwhelming obs is really going to help her CS at a range and just safely. And also harass at the same time, just make life difficult. She can probably actually control that lane better than the Mirana can, just through the spam, through the mana spam that she's got. Mirana, though, has ducked back to the well, and they're going for a gank here on the bottom lane. They really do need to put some pressure on this Morphling, because if he gets even a couple of core items, if he goes for the shotgun and gets it early, they can set up some kills for a snowball. They've got the Chronosphere, so they could very easily set up this arrow. They're just trying to figure out where he is. They haven't spotted him just yet. Void, there we go. He's going to jump in. Here comes the Chronosphere. Easy 5-second arrow. Easiest arrow of his life. Will land there. Morphling, though. Morphing up the strength. Might be hard to burst down. I don't know if they've got the damage, but they will. Level 3 Starstorm going to help finish that up.
Trespasser.
And this is, of course, the power having that Mirana with the Morphling. Pretty much every time Chronosphere is up, that's pretty much a guaranteed kill. However, Legion Commander will have a Blink Dagger done very soon. But she's still kind of squishy, so if she blinks and duels at this point in time without at least treads or something to back herself up, she's really got to have the follow-up burst damage come out as well, because her damage output during the duel is going to be very low. So she will have to have the Brewmaster basically blink, clap, and crit pretty much straight away. Otherwise, they're probably not going to find any kills in mid. We saw earlier, even with the help of Power Shot up in the top lane, she couldn't bring down a level 5 Mirana. The damage just isn't there right now. See, LC has actually just rotated to the jungle for a bit. This is giving Wind Ranger some much needed levels. In fact, of course, Wind Ranger has a lot of levels she needs. She has 3 skills, and even her ult she wants once she gets a core item as well. So she's really greedy on levels. She needs them quite badly to be effective. Especially getting that level up in the Power Shot to make sure she has damage. And she also needs, she needs the levels in Power Shot badly to make sure she does damage. And then she also needs the levels in Shackle Shot to make sure she has some kind of lockdown and can bring something to the table during the fights. And obviously the low levels of Wind Run did get buffed a bit, but it's still not a fantastic escape mechanism or even a chasing mechanism.
I don't think so.
Death Prophet though, making good progress to her Yules. I don't know how much that'll help her though in this game because, well, initially, because right now they're going for that, most likely going for the early blink on Legion Commander. And if they just get the lock and burst together as a 1-2 combo, it's going to be really painful for her because she's not going to have the sheer health to live through it. It's just going to be a very simple thing just to jump, blink, duel her, and then clap her down. There's a good chance they won't even have time to rotate in, but it looks like it's just being a bit of stacking going on here. For the Morphling, you can jump in and help burst this down with a waveform. You're going to get, wow, a lot of Sato camps there. And there we go. Blink Dagger should be completed now for Legion Commander. There it is. And this is going to be a surprise blink. No, it's going to be a surprise blink on bottom. They're going to attempt to pick off the Void most likely. Because they can't really go for Lich. If they go for Lich, Void will just chrono them. So that's not happening. Meanwhile, Windrunner in some trouble. The arrow looks like a connector. I don't think it hit a creep there. And Starstorm to follow up. And that's another kill. The Mirana grabbing that one there. 2-0 and 1. LC lurking in the trees. Oh, wait, she's blinked away, actually, and they've spotted this now. The Blink Dagger has been revealed, blinked straight into a ward, and they know it's a threat now, and they probably won't get picked off by this now. Which is unfortunate, because she's blinked and then headed mid, Death Prophet knows to hang back. So unfortunately, that Blink Dagger reveal has been completely wasted. Which pretty much could have been, the first, once you get your Blink Dagger, it should essentially be a free duel. Because your opponents don't know you have it unless they're suspecting the timing. They don't know you're having it, and they'll just basically be overextended at some point and just get dueled. So it should be a free 10 damage there. Unfortunately, it's been revealed. They might get one, though, with the smoke up here, though. Brewmaster also coming to the party, and they definitely do need the Brewmaster, at the very least, the Mystic Flare, which isn't available yet, just to make sure they can burst things down with Legion Commander. But I feel for Death Prophet, this could be an issue for her, because it's quite likely that she's getting... There we go. The bait of this, but if you can't go just yet, Exorcism going, ZSMJ taking so much damage, morphing through this, gets silenced, he will manage to get away here, no, he gets brought down, Duel comes out, it's on top of the Death Prophet, down she goes, and Moonlight Shadow to help them escape. No detection available, and LGD should be able to back off here now. They did get a successful duel there on Legion Commander at the very least, so probably coming out ahead, and 2 cores going down in that fight. But a successful duel there, meaning HDT probably coming ahead there, and maybe getting the Void as well. The clap comes in as well. A blinking clap from Brewmaster sets up that kill. And now Legion Commander blinking away there. Can we set up the stun? Throws out press the attack before the stun comes forward. A chain stun there, but it's only a short duration. Brewmaster coming in as well. Going to clap and slow them down. Is he? No, claps one. Still some trouble here. Mirana, they're going to have to back off. The attack's coming out. Dizzy gets another crit here. We might see Lich go down. Frost Blast coming out as well. Waveform through. Now Wraith King instant trouble. Will pop his ultimate though. He should be okay. Death Prophet back in the mix here. Now ZSMJ. Still a lot of strength being morphed up. Needs to back off. Silenced up as well. Prescient Towel. Overwhelming Gods coming through as well. Concussive Shot. Going to slow down the Wraith King. Shouldn't be able to get back in range of another stun. And Mirana going to have to back off with the Death Prophet as well. And out of that exchange, overall I think a net win there for HGT. They got the successful duel, got a couple of kills in the course, and they picked off the Death Prophet, slowing down her core items a little bit. And also the Void. The Void and the Death Prophet went down, which is a big deal. They did lose some Morphling, but 2-for-1 cores, I think it's pretty solid. Plus a successful duel is a big deal.
Invisibility.
Duels, getting those early duels is such a huge thing. If you think about it, how much gold, you get 10 damage, right, out of the duel. And think of it like this. You pay, 450 gold for Blades of Attack for +9 damage. And for each duel you win, not only do you earn some money instead of paying for it, but you also get freaking 10 damage. Which is, I'd say, round about in the ballpark, worth at least 300 gold. So it's a big net win as we see there. We go press the attack. Duel going to come through again. There comes the clap as well as the Mystic Flare. The burst damage comes through, and this is what's going to suck for Death Robin. She's going to get dueled and burst down so frequently between this Panda jumping on her and the fact that Mystic Flare does so much freaking damage.
Radiant's top tower is
And these
under
early,
attack.
this is what I like seeing, the
Dire's
early
bottom
ganking Legion.
tower
I
is
really
under
hate
attack.
seeing it. Like, I'm going to pick on Hanny here. When I see him play the Legion Commander, he's super passive about it. Like, he sits and he farms, he just farms and farms and farms. And sometimes it's honestly the support picks to blame as well. But when he hits the Blink Dagger, I just feel like a lot of the Western teams, they do not gank that much. Whereas, like, the priority has been, when Legion Commander picked up this Blink, was to hide and look for a kill, didn't find it. Hid and look for another kill in bottom lane, didn't find it. Rotated mid, looked for a kill, didn't find it. Then immediately came bottom, found that kill, went to mid, finds that kill again. It's just those dual kills are racking up. They're worth so much money.
Haste.
Every coin helps.
We're going to see as well the early Blade Mail going to come out. Not only is this going to help repel some of the physical damage coming up for LGD, but it also is really going to help deal with Death Robin. If she pops Exorcism and then gets dueled, oh boy, she's going to take so much damage so quickly.